Hello, everyone. This is ASL 130 in Grossmont College, and I signed GC for Grossmont College. John O'Laughlin. I'm your ASL professor, and I'm really excited to be working with you all. Now, this is ASL 130. It's an introduction to fingerspelling. We have a lot of rules involved here. Before you get too overwhelmed, I don't want you to worry. Before we really get into that subject, I do want to remind some of you that who have just taken ASL 1, and some of you are maybe already in ASL 4 at this point. Their goal is to work together and work with me, support each other. I'll be supporting you all. And some rules that we need to live by. So we're going to start today. I'll give you a good idea about what the expectations are for the rest of the semester. The structure, it will be mostly routine, weekly. We'll have a midterm, a final exam, and so that'll be the only time when things will be different. But for the most part, we will have a typical routine, and that's how we will approach the class. This course is a teacher to student interaction, more or less. So for me, I'll be giving you feedback, but you will also be working with classmates. And it's really important for you all to invest your time in learning how to use fingerspelling and how to understand the mechanisms of fingerspelling and the different rules behind fingerspelling. A lot of people say that fingerspelling is English, but really it's not. You have to, if you think about it, you realize it's not. It does appear to be English words, um, like, the meet different hearing consumers who know ASL, and they will go ahead and fingerspell everything, and sometimes they're not able to catch fingerspelling. So it's really an integral part of using ASL. So we will be learning how to use it appropriately and when to use it. Now, for this course, it's level 1, which means you will be learning the basics, the foundations, the rules, and everything that goes along with it. And I'll have to emphasize, please give yourself some time to start understanding the rules. There are number rules, counting number rules for your palm orientation, and the non-counting number rules for your palm orientation. For example, counting numbers, they look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on. Non-counting numbers look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Did you see the difference there? There's a rule that requires that difference. Okay, so before we continue on, this fingerspelling class, for me personally, I like to begin with my college teaching career, other than Brattle. In Brazil, excuse me, the interpreter in Brazil, where I began my college teaching career, and then I came back here to teach. So here in the US, my first ASL class was not ASL 1 through 4. It was a fingerspelling class. And that was when I was 26 years old, 8 years ago, I think, at that point. Now you can figure out my age if you want to do the math. And so it was a fingerspelling class. It was really fun. I'm sure many of you are like, "Oh, that would be boring," but no, it it was a really good time. It was really fun. Okay, so we're gonna get into it now. We're gonna start with Canvas and see the structure and how that looks, and then I will show you where to find or how to set up your account through the ASL Insight, the ASL Inside website. Okay, here we go. I need to pin myself so you can see me while you are hearing the interpreter's voice. Okay. I'm sure some of you are maybe a little bit thrown off. Dear Griffins, really, it's Grossmont College mascot. So that's who the Griffins are, just so you know. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and have you read this. And I mention here, there's not one way of learning these methods. It's going to be interactive online course. You will work with classmates. I'm emphasizing the plurality of that word, classmates, not just one, several. You'll be getting feedback from me as well. Okay, 1 second. Before we start everything, I'm going to give you a few things. Fingerspelling is not a speed game. It's not about the speed. It is really about context, uh, convergent. That's how you are able to fingerspell the word in classifiers. So the movement of the hand, and then closure. So that C, you'll be learning that last one later. So if you try to fingerspell quickly, I'm going to be giving you a speeding ticket, just so you know. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not going to understand what you're saying if you're trying to rush through the word. So it's important to practice that context, convergent, and have good closure at the end of your fingerspelling. See that movement there in closure? You don't see me doing it this way. You see that closure, convergent there. You'll be learning more of that process. And you're going to experience maybe some frustrations because you might not be the fastest finger speller, but don't worry, we're going to get there. This is the first step in your fingerspelling journey. So don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Perfect. Speeding ticket. Okay. So now I have the syllabus here. And really the syllabus, we used to sign silly bus, the two signs together, syllabus. It's kind of a joke, a play on words for English because syllabus sounds like silly bus, but it's just like a funny way to sign that, a little play on words like a silly bus. But here we have the syllabus or the silly bus, as we like to joke. So you can go ahead and download your syllabus, review it, read it. Please review it on your own as well. Okay. It's kind of self-explanatory. If you are not able to, if you haven't set up your online platform, make sure that you use this information here, the Fall 2025 ASL 130 Basic JTKO. What does that mean? That's my full name. I have 4 names, so. So we scroll down here. That's the structure of what the semester is going to look like. We'll be discussing a little bit more about protactile ASL as well. Here, you see that protactile. And That is a language for deaf-blind people. It's not necessarily related to the curriculum, but it's good for you to become familiar with. It is part of fingerspelling. But how do you use those different strategies to converse with deaf-blind people? There's a little bit of a difference there. So, okay. Most importantly, you can keep track with everything weekly. I will usually release weekly modules on typically Wednesdays or Thursdays to give yourself that weekend, that week to complete everything. That's under modules here. Welcome. This is if you want to get to know me, you can read my bio. If you want to know me a little bit more in depth, we can chat. Really depends on your preference. Please create an account. That would be here. This is where you create your account. You go to ASL Inside, that website. We got a login here. So once you sign up, it would be this here. You do have to type that in. I suggest copy paste from the syllabus and then join. So you can see your name so far. You can see who's in your class so far. We have 15 students at this point. I think around 25 students, so it seems like there's about 10 of you who need to complete this step. So maybe that answers your question, that $1 million question. Okay, so when you are going through week one, I'll show you what it looks like here. Make sure you read the objectives of the weeks, and then we have something that's due already. So normally I will have homework due on Tuesdays. So technically you have a week and a half to finish your assignments. If you decide to wait until the 11th hour, as they say, and you ask me for an extension, I will, I will be already in bed. So I I will be having to get up early for CrossFit training, so I might not be able to answer your question in that 11th hour. I probably won't get it that morning. So please don't wait. It is your responsibility as students to complete that. Make sure to find your Zoom partner for the first 8 weeks, and then the second 8 weeks, we have two 8 weeks within the semester, two 8 week segments, and so you'll have two different partners, one for the first 8 week, one for the second. So let me just give you an idea. We can look around here. Really, it seems clear enough if you read through it. Great. I'm impressed. So let's go back a little bit. Okay, and then we can move on here. Interactive dialogue, number 0. Really, it's an introduction plus just to make sure that you're an active student. Yes, you will see many, many different styles of hair. Bearded, not bearded, long hair, shaved hair. For the last 2 years, I have had many different styles, so enjoy that. It's important that you watch this video and my message as well as the instructions. It's all part of your receptive skills. I might grow my beard out again, we'll see. So that's the video and the instruction. And you will go through here. So what you see is that interactive part. My first video is, what I have to say, and then there'll be a question. And then the person will respond to my question and then make comment. And then that person will ask a different, maybe similar, sometimes it happens, similar type question. Try your best to do a different question. And then the next student will respond and thereon and there will continue different dialogue to work on your expressive skills and receptive skills. And we'll be continuing that throughout the entire semester. Good. All right. So when we're done, there'll be a wrap up here in the week. Make sure to double check that everything has been completed. Shows you that here, pretty simple. If you miss something, you can always go back, complete it. We'll be done soon. Next week is when we will actually start doing that work, when that real work will begin. This week is kind of light warm up, feel things out. Next week is when it will really begin. Make sure to review the objectives again next week. I know some of you are like, alphabet again, but there are some differences. For example, X. Some students will sign X like this. But you got to use specific palm orientation for X, so it's not facing out, it should be facing the other way, and I will be catching those things and give you feedback on them. So make sure to pay attention. So that's the second week, next week. And the expectations are such. Let's see here. When you watch the weekly lecture videos, I encourage you to, kind of chunk them out in time. There'll be topics, some are longer than others, but it's all there. They have it timed out in chunks. So the introduction to the class, welcome to class, and maybe you could skip to the 47-second part where you start the practices of the alphabet. Then we have the number rules. And then we have the alphabet recognition. So I'll be doing activities for that. I will be fingerspelling, and then you guys will need to be catching those fingerspelled words. It's important to remember this is an online class. It's not an in-person course. And so you have to have a lot of self-discipline. It's critical for you. Make sure that you practice with me and do your best, okay? If you get all the answers right, that's great. If you get all the answers, so-so, or even maybe all of them wrong, that just means you need more practice. The goal is to continue to practice your fingerspelling and receptive skills and to practice your expressive fingerspelling. That way, when you're out in the community, you'll be more comfortable signing with the deaf community. Another thing, just a little tip to give you, you can adjust the video speed, but be careful. The reason is it can become a habit. So if you decide to slow the video by 2x, that's fine. But really think about what reality is out in the real world with deaf people. Do you think you can slow them down? By 2x? No, you cannot. So it's fine in the beginning if you need that for yourself, and then work yourself up to a normal speed as much as possible. And if you need to repeat the video, that's fine. Again, it's an online class, so I'm not going to crawl through your screen and reprimand you for anything like that. I do trust all of you. So now just so you get an idea, we can watch this lecture video here while it loads. See? Hmm. We're going to be done here soon. Receptive homework. That's the alphabet there, receptive homework. And the expressive would be you would read something and then you would be signing it. Let me see here. Yes. You would have to finger spell the pangrams. So you finger spell those just to practice. And I will grade your work once I see your videos. Now you will find some work with your Zoom partner here. And that partner will be the same for the next 8 weeks. And so there's this interactive dialogue Zoom partner number 1. So that's week 1 through 8. Or maybe week 1 through 7, roughly. So you'll be practicing these together with your partner. And they will be repetitive, but practice is very important. Before you have a second thought about, ugh, I don't want to do this kind of repetitive work, think about it this way. You know, an NFL player, or maybe a U.S. women's soccer player, any sort of sport like that. Do they do things one time? No, they practice things over and over and over and over and over again for years and years and years. And so with me, you can take that practice for the next 16 weeks and you'll be able to see, wow, you can maybe get those skills. You can see how those players maybe can throw the ball or do their sports just so much better. You'll be able to see that you have also improved because of practice. So it's really important that you continue. I mean, there are some people who don't practice. They're pretty gifted, but practice is pretty much required by most people. Okay, so you'll be practicing with your Zoom partner. Oh, so when you do practice with your Zoom partner, make sure that you record it and upload it so that you can get the full credit. If not, of course, you can't. Now there's another assignment here. Then we're going to start easy for the first assignment, and then it's going to get a little more complex as we move along. If you want to increase the speed, you can. That would be here. Playback speed, you can go to 2. And see the finger spelling there. Simple. Got it? So after you watch my video, I fingerspelled my pangrams, and then you type in what I said, and then you do your own pangram. And then the next person will have to type in what you say, and then they do their own. So that's the interactive portion of this course. I do think I've covered everything at this point. Really, the structure is going to be routine, as I mentioned before, except for the midterm and the final exam. Any questions? Well, I promised, up to 30 minutes for questions, but I'm pretty close. If there are any questions, I will go ahead and turn off the recording and students can ask.